Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Did you read the title? I'm so excited. I have a whole bunch of stuff that I need to show you guys, but before we get started, I want to first apologize. It is super hot here today. Our air conditioner is struggling to keep up, so I have a box fan to my right blowing on me, just to keep me cool because it's hot in here. And yeah, so I have a whole story that I need to tell you guys before we even get started today. So go ahead, kick off your shoes, get comfy, get you something to drink, get your project, get to work, and then you just listen to me ramble. So today I got up and I got showered and I started writing my patterns because I've been working very hard to keep caught up with those and to get caught up with my written patterns. So ideally I want to have all of my written patterns caught up to the one I'm currently on. And then by the time I post the tutorial for the one that I'm currently doing, I want the pattern to be ready for it, and then I can move to the next. That's my final goal, and I'm working to it. I've got 12 more patterns to write and type and get on Etsy to get caught up to where I am right now. So I'm currently working on one that to catch myself up, and the one that is for the tutorial that I'm working on now. So I'm working on two at a time. Anyway, so I got up this morning and I showered, did my hair because I knew that we were gonna, I needed to run to town because I needed to go to Walmart. And so I did my hair, and I thought, well, while I'm waiting for my hair to dry, I will go ahead and start typing on my pattern, get it ready, and wait for my husband to get up because this is like 6-7 o'clock in the morning. So I was waiting for my husband to get up, and I did my makeup, I was ready to go, and I was just sitting there typing away. So he gets up and he makes himself breakfast, and then about 8 o'clock he's like, "You want to go hiking today?" And I was like, "Yeah, I don't care, that's fine." I was like, "Can we please just go to Walmart before we come home, because I need to get a few things for cooking with Alana," which I have a tutorial up and ready for that. I will tell you guys about that in just a minute. But anyway, so he bought me a couple of weeks ago a pair of hiking boots, and so I wore them for the first time today. But anyway, point being, we ended up going on one trail that wasn't even it was like a quarter of a mile, and it took us to this awesome little cave area that we got to check out. And then he finds another trail that he wants to go down that is 2.5 miles. Now I know to some of you that's not that bad, and to me it's really not that bad, but I'm not dressed for it. I have my hair done, my makeup on, and I'm in a pair of jeans and one of my husband's moisture wicking long sleeve shirts on that's 3 sizes too big for me that I got tied on the side. Yeah, so we go walking this trail, and I'm sure none of you know this, I am a prolific sweater. I sweat like crazy. I mean, to even, just to be cleaning the house and the air conditioning, I will have sweat dripping off of me because I sweat that much all the time. Not all the time, but that easily. So, probably like 85 with 100% humidity. It wasn't hot, it's just muggy, miserable, sticky, and I am instantly dripping wet. Sweat is just dripping out of my hair, and my daughter's like, she grabs my little hair right here, and she grabs it and she holds it up and she's like, "Dad, look at all this sweat dripping out of her hair." I'm like, "Get off me." I can't help it, I sweat that much. The whole front of my shirt was soaked, and I would peel it off me and let go, and it would just snap right back to me. My whole back is soaked, and I am just like, I have to film today. I have to go to Walmart still. Luckily, I packed another shirt and flip-flops, so we got in the car to head to town. So when we were still out in the country, I took my shirt off and put my other shirt on, and then took my boots and socks off and put my flip-flops on. And I was like, it's going to have to work for now because I have got to go to Walmart. But anyway, so we did that. Went to Walmart, got everything I needed, got home, and I'm like, okay, I still have to film, so I am just going to shower again and go sit down and film. So this is currently the situation. That's why I'm in my pajamas. I have my hair just pulled up in a clip, and I was just like, you know what? I don't care. I don't care. I just want to get this done because I'm so excited to show you guys everything that we got. So Saturday, so everything that I just told you, today's Sunday evening, I don't know, about 6:30 or so. Yes, so Saturday, my husband decides, he's like, hey, let's go find, you know, he says, I want to go to antique stores that we have never been to. And I was like, all right. Well, we ended up going north of where we are, close to Springfield, and holy cow, we found two that we have never even heard of, never seen before. And I paused that. I forgot to tell you, when we went hiking, I wore a little fanny pack, and when I went to snap the fanny pack around my waist, I pinched myself and gave myself this little blood blister. And that is the most annoying little thing. I mean, yeah, it hurt when I did it. It kind of hurts now, but it's more annoying than anything. So if you see me going like that, it's me messing with that little blister. But anywho, so, holy cow, we found two that we had never seen, never heard of, never been to. And, yeah, I have got some stuff to show you. So, let me get a drink, and yeah, just let me get a drink and I'll explain more. Okay, so before we actually went to those, we stopped at a little thrift store and a Salvation Army, and I found a cute few little things I was kind of excited about. So, but I'm going to show them to you anyway, and then I'll show you the stuff from the antique store. So how I'm going to break this down, well, I'll just show you, and then I'll tell you that part later. So the very first place we stopped at was just a little thrift store, like a resale shop. And I didn't really find anything. They had a VHS section, and of course I've been collecting VHS tapes, and I found one, and I was like, you know, I really want this. I think everyone should see this movie, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. That was not there. The woman that was checking me out pulled the price sticker off of it and ripped the cover, and I was like, it's fine. It's fine. We're just gonna move on. But if I ever come across another one, I'll probably just, if it's cheap, I wouldn't pay more than, like, this was 25 cents, so I wouldn't pay more than 25 cents for another one just so I can have a nice case. Anywho, so I found that, and that was all I found at the first one. So then we went to the second one, which was a Salvation Army. And I found a handful of VHS tapes that were, how much were these? I think they were 25 cents too, because I think they were saying that they were, the paper said that they were 4 for $1. So they were, and I just was like, well, I'll just get 4. So I went through there and I found Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Everybody's got to have that one. This one I have never seen before. I've never heard of it. But I was like, it's got Cher in it, so it's got to be good, right? Suspect with Dennis Quaid and Cher. Uh-oh. A Supreme Court justice takes his own life. A woman is found dead, the victim of a grisly murder. A homeless Vietnam vet stands accused. Okay. I have never heard of this or seen this, but that sounds good. So, and like I said, it's Cher, so I had to grab it. And then I found this one. I watched this once, years ago, and I remember being like, that was weird, but really cool. Robin Williams toys. I wanted it. And then I got, of course, Charlotte's Web. Every kid's got to see that, right? So I got that. And my husband got a couple of cassette tapes. I forgot I forgot. Hold on just a second. Okay, I'm back. So my husband, before I move on to the cassette tapes, my husband was in the basement of the farmhouse and found something. He said, I forgot I had this from when I was a kid and brought it home to me. It's a Walkman, or well, not like the brand name Walkman, but it's, oh, I left the batteries in the other room. Dang it. I wanted to show you guys that it worked. But yeah, and I was listening to a cassette tape the other day on it. I stole them from my husband. I took a pair of his headphones and I was jamming out on it. And it has AM, FM radio and all kinds of stuff in it. So, new little toy for me to play with that he found for me. Anyway, sorry. I completely forgot the batteries and I don't want to run back in there. So, I'll just move on. Fuzzy butt. You want up here? Come on. Come on. Scratch me. The old man's got to get up here and lay down. So he bought 38 Special. I love them. REO Speedwagon, Prince, and Toby Keith. So he got some cassettes. You guys probably don't care, but I just want to show you. And then if you saw my last antique hauls, or no, was it that, or I don't know, one of the ones that I showed you guys that I got the cat hair book that shows you how to felt your cat's hair and you can make a little picture frame with your cat's hair with a little cat shape. Well, I found two, I just had those. Anyway, I found two picture frames at a different place that I was showing you guys. Well, I found two more, so now I have one for each of my cats. And they were 50 cents each, and I was like, they're cute and they're really good. Oh, excuse me. I meant like in really nice shape. So I got these for 50 cents each. Okay, so now we went to one other place before we went to the antique stores. It was actually another Salvation Army in a little town down the road from the first one that we were at. Okay, so let me explain this. I recently filmed Cooking with Alana. I got that back up and going and I'm super excited about it. I'll put a link in the description box if you guys want to check it out. I was gonna say something else, but I'll tell you that later. Anyway, so ow, fuzzy butt. So I made lemon whippersnapper cookies. I had never made those before, never even heard of them. The reason I made them was because in my last episodes of the antique hauls that I did, I was showing you guys that my husband had found these 3 wooden boxes. Oh, excuse me, 3 wooden boxes full of old recipes that a woman had written out. Some of them she had written out, some of them she cut out in magazines or newspapers or books. Anyway, I went through every single one of those recipes, and there were a ton of them. Well, what I did is I separated them. I separated all of the recipes that were like dinner, side dishes, you know, the meat and potato kind of recipes, and put that in one of the boxes. And then in the other box, I put all of the sweets, all of the desserts. And I didn't put them in order or anything. I just put them all in there. So what I had decided to do was that I was just going to blindly reach into the dessert one, pull it out, and that's the recipe I was doing for Cooking with Alana. Hence the lemon whippersnappers. Like I said, I had never heard of these cookies before. I have never made them. No idea what they were. So I did have to do a little research on YouTube to, you know, figure out what it was. And I kind of thought when I read the recipe, I was like, this can't be right. Because she wrote down to bake them for 10 to 15 minutes at 250 degrees. And I was like, 250? Really? I don't think that's right. So I looked it up and it's 350. But anyway, the rest of everything that I had seen on YouTube about these cookies showed everybody dipping the cookies out with one of these. I call it a lemon baller. A melon baller. See the little thing moving on the inside? I don't know if that's actually what this is, but I've seen people use it for, you know, scooping watermelon or cantaloupe or whatever and having a little ball of it. But every video on YouTube that I had seen showed people dipping their dough and then going like that and using this for their cookie dough. Well, I was like, oh, no big deal. I know I have one. I've used it before, yada yada. But wouldn't you know, I could not find that thing anywhere. I looked and looked and looked, and I dug through everything in the garage, and I dug through everything that was in the basement, and I cannot find it. And I looked, this means nothing to you guys, but I looked under the cabinet under our stairs. I looked in all of the cabinets in our kitchen, and I cannot find it. And Matt came in the kitchen. I don't know about you guys, but when I can't find something that I know we have, I don't want to say angry, but aggravated, because I know we have it. Where is it? Why can't I find it? And I get aggravated, and then I'm not nice when someone's like, what are you looking for? And then I'm like, I'm looking for this and I can't find it anywhere. Anyway, so my husband Matt comes downstairs and he's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I cannot find that melon baller that we had. So I had to explain what a melon baller is, yada yada. Fast forward. So Saturday at the last Salvation Army that we were in, look what he finds and brings up to me. It was $3, and I was like, I don't want to pay that much for it, but it's hard telling how much it would have been brand new. So I was just like, you know what, give it to me, I'm buying it. So I got a new one. And then the one other thing that I did find for $1 is this big old stack of index cards. And a part of me was like, how much would I spend on a pack that big of brand new ones? Which I don't know. And of course, it was in a building that I could not get any cell phone service, so I couldn't search on on the internet to find out how much a pack of index cards would be, and I still haven't. I kind of don't want to know. They were $1, but I got these because I thought, you know, all of those recipes, the ones that she wrote down, some of them are super old, or I'm trying to think of how to politely say this. The person that wrote them was getting a little more seasoned, and it was a little harder to read what they're writing. So I think the ones that I do that she wrote, I'm gonna rewrite and then like make little notes for myself, or like I told my girls, I said, you know, whenever I give you guys all these recipes, I'm gonna keep the originals that she wrote, but also have these, you know, so you guys can read them. So that's why I got these for $1. Like I said, I don't know if it was any kind of a deal or not. I think it's a pretty big stack. So I got those. Okay, and then we went to the antique store. Well, then we went out to eat. Then we went to the antique stores, and that's where we found the good stuff. So the first one, I'm going to stand up and grab the box to show you guys. Okay, so like I said, we have never been in this one before, ever. And it's a pretty cool story, because I walk in and I'm checking everything out, and I was like, oh, look at that. And my husband and I have this certain routine we do every time we go into an antique store, and it's from his firefighter days. When you enter a building, you always go right, and then go until you can't go no more, then make your left, and then you're covering the entire, you know, outer of the room. Anyway, we always go right. We walk in the door and we go right, and then, you know, make your way, you know, like, so if you go right and there's a turn off, then you take that turn and you just keep going right until you come back, right? I had to say that. But anyway, so I was going a little faster than him, and I went right, and I came into a booth, and there's certain things that after my years of doing this, that I have learned about antique stores. And one of them is to never assume a booth is not going to have what you want. Never assume that, because the second you do, you're going to find exactly what you're looking for, if you are still looking. Because most of the times, if I have ever done that and my husband is behind me, he'll go into the same booth I was just in and find something that he knows that I like. And then he'll be like, you didn't see this. And I'm like, where'd you find that? He's like, this one? Of course, that's the one that I assumed there wouldn't be anything in. So, number one rule, follow that rule. Never assume that a booth at an antique mall is not going to have what you want. Always assume that they are going to, and look at everything. Well, one item that is really hard to keep with is books and magazines. And I say that because, so if I break it down, 70% of the time that you look at books or magazines in an antique booth, they're going to be cookbooks or, like chapter books. So like books, or different kind of magazines. Like a lot of the time I see music books and like men's books, like cars, car books, magazines about cars and guns and outdoor and things like that. A lot of Playboys. All the time I see Playboys. And so yeah, that's probably going to be 70 to 80% of the time. Let's say 70% of the time. And then let's say you look and they're not those books, they're craft books. Those craft books are going to be quilt. They're all 9. Okay, so that was like 70. So I'm going to go 20% of that is going to be quilt. So that leaves 10%. That 10% of the time when you look at books and magazines, they're going to be knit or crochet. More often, so like maybe 4%. I'm trying to accurately break this down because I know this is probably annoying you guys and you're like, come on, just show it. But I want you guys to understand how awesome this is. Okay, so I got it down to books, magazines. 70% of the time are going to be cookbooks, chapter books, men magazines, and then like another 20 is going to be your craft, and that's going to be like quilt, and then that 10% is going to be knit or crochet. And I am probably going to break that 10% down to 6% is going to be knit. So that leaves you that 4% is going to be crochet. That is how rare it is for me to come across crochet magazines and books, right? So that's all booths. That's not an antique mall. That's like all booths in all the antique malls I've been in. So it's a lot. So some antique malls could have 300-400 booths in them. So like the ones that we found that we went to yesterday, oh my, I guarantee you had 300 to 400 booths. Okay, so now that I got that broke down for you guys, this is how awesome this is. I go into this booth and I squat down because I see a magazine rack and it's full of magazines. And right next to me is this big wooden crib. And I hadn't even looked at there. I saw the magazines and I squatted down and started flipping through them. And holy crap. Let me show you. This I found for 25 cents a piece. All of these workbench, Annie's wardrobe, all of these, 25 cents a piece. All of these. This is full of patterns. save that. There's still more. There's more. Ugh. All of these, and like these plastics are full of like several different patterns. All of that, 25 cents a piece. There's more. All of this, like this has several different patterns in it. Final handful. All of this. Yeah. I could not believe it because never have I found this many in one spot. Never. And I was just like grabbing them. One, because they were so cheap. 25 cents a piece. I'm not gonna... The number of times I have found crochet magazines or crochet books and in antique booths, and they have been so overpriced. That's happened several times, and more than I'd like to admit, I walk away because I don't want to. Like, for instance, this is a little side story. Not this antique store, but the next one. They had, and I'm pretty sure this would have been the oldest one if I would have bought it, but I couldn't. It was a thick book, a thick crochet book, full of patterns that like doilies, a lot of collars and neck sleeves, and there was more than just that, but that's what, like, flipping through it, I saw from 1905, and it was $10, and I was like, I just bought an entire stack for $1 a piece. I can't. I can't. I gotta pass on it. That's too much. That's too much. Is it worth that? Absolutely. I just can't afford it, so I passed on it. Which I say that, but then I bought anyway. So yeah. So I got all of those for 25 cents a piece. So as I'm, so you guys gotta picture this. I'm squatted on the floor and I'm going through this magazine rack, picking through. Because it was crochet, and then a lot of it was like, holy cow, a lot of it was tatting. It's like, dang, I didn't know tatting was that popular back then. And then, I just heard a weird sound. And then, I think the other was quilting, of course. Anyway, so I'm going, you guys gotta picture this, right? I'm squatted down and I'm flipping through all of these magazines, and then that big crib that was next to me had a big old box full and a basket full of stuff. But my husband was standing there and he's like, look honey, look honey, look honey. And I'm like, stop it, I'm trying to go through these magazines. Like, hold on just a second. Well, he pulls this out. He's like, look at her. And I look at it and I'm like, I want that. He's like, why? Don't you have several of these Indian dolls? I was like, first of all, yes, but they're not this one. This one is special that I want it because I just pulled this pattern out, and that is the doll. So I was like, I want this pattern for 50 cents, and that's the doll that is for this pattern, so yes, I want the doll. So that was another pattern I pulled out of there because I had to show you the specific reason I wanted the doll. So I'm going to take her dress off and fix her hair, probably like just like that, and then crochet that outfit for her. I don't know if I've ever seen one of these at an antique store. I don't think I have. I think maybe some, no, I don't think she did give me one. I don't know, she needs to be cleaned up. Or that actually looks like a spot that may not come off. That's okay. You know what I do in that case? Makeup. I find like cheap old dark makeup. Or maybe no, I don't have a permanent marker. Or like a crayon maybe. I don't know. But anyway, so I found her. And then I finally got through all those magazines. So I stand up and I got this whole stack with me. And Matt's like, I'll take them to the register and put them in a box, and they can start going through every one, taking the stickers off. And I was like, all right. So while he's gone, I start going through this crib. And I cannot believe I found this. Because in the last antique haul videos that I did, there's 2 of them, a part 1 and a part 2. There is going to be a part 1 and a part 2 of this one, just to let you know. But there's a reason, hold on. I tell you guys how rare it is that I find a male doll like that. I found one in the package with a little stand for $1. I was like, you're kidding me. Well, he's got to have a wife. She was right next to him for $1. And then she was right next to him for $1. So I grabbed her too. I just got 3 more dolls. Do I need these? Absolutely not. But I want to tell you I never find these, but I just found 2 out of nowhere. So I ended up getting these 2. And then I have a hair on my face. I went ahead and started walking through everything else, all the other booths. And by this time I was starting to get a little picky because I knew I had a lot of money spent, and like I said, I'm unemployed, so I don't have the money like I used to. But I come across another VHS tape that I watched this when I was young, when I was a kid. I still lived at home, and I bawled. I loved this movie, and it's The Other Sister. Oh man, if you have not seen this, this is such a cool movie. So I had to get this to add it to my collection because it's another one of those movies that was part of my childhood. I remember watching this and being like amazed because of the story. I've never seen anything like it before, you know. And it's a twist on a love story because I am not the kind of girl that likes love stories. But this one's different. This one has a twist to it that makes it special and sweet, and I love it. But anyway, so that was everything I got for me. But I found something, well, my husband actually found something for my dad. My dad, every day, goes outside and he feeds these squirrels, actually like twice a day. He feeds these squirrels and he feeds blue jays, and they just, he's the male Snow White. He'll sit outside and these squirrels will come right up to him and he'll just toss them a little peanut. And the blue jays, he'll toss them out in the yard, and they'll land, pick up the peanut, and go sit on the clothesline, and they start trying to break it with their beak. It's adorable. Anyway, so my husband found this, and we're gonna give it to my dad. It's a little nutcracker. So he can crack his own nuts. He'll love this. But anyway, so I bought that for him. Okay, so that was everything at that one. So then we go to the next one. And let me grab that. Ugh. Alright. So this one didn't start off as, well, it did. Anyway, so what I found on this one was more crochet magazines. Now these were $1 a piece. I didn't want to pay that much. However, these aren't just your regular work basket magazines. These are actually, like, this one is copyright, please don't be that, 1969, and it's Afghans, and this one's like tablecloth. Anyway, I was like, okay, I'll pay $1 a piece for that. I'll do it. So I got this little stack, and then I got this stack, and I have to show you guys this. This makes me so happy. This is a little pattern. It's for $1. And it's plant pokes. Is that not the cutest? Just say it out loud. Plant pokes. Does that not make you smile? Plant pokes. Look! Is that not the cutest thing? Look at the scarecrow. The ghost. I mean, come on. I couldn't pass that up. There's some Christmas magazines. Old one. This caught my eye. That caught my eye because of her. And the theme. The circus. Anyway, yeah, I got all of these for $1 also. So, I do want to say, I know you're probably thinking, well, come on, show the magazines. That's what's part 2. That's what we're going to do in part 2. I'm not going to go every page, like my magazine flip through, but I'm going to go through every magazine and say, okay, this is this one. It's got this in it. Show you the front and the back. And then when we do the vintage magazine flip through, we will go through all of those. So yeah, that's what part 2 is going to be. So for the last thing to show you in this haul, this about makes me want to cry because I'm a dork. So for those of you that don't know, I have a twin sister. She is fraternal. She is my fraternal twin. She has red hair, freckles, green eyes, long red hair. And it's not like that strawberry blonde, and it's not fire red. It's that deep, dark red. Who does that make you think of? You know, like for my more seasoned ladies, or, well, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say ladies. For my more seasoned viewers, who does that make you think of? Long red hair, green eyes, freckles. She's spicy. Pippi Longstockings. That is my twin, right? Oh my gosh. This is my childhood. The horse, oh, and her dad, her friends. Remember when she walks up the wall? That's not when she does it, but that made me think of it. Yes. Yes. I saw that and I was like, I don't care how much that is. It was $2, but I was like, I don't care how much it is. I want this. And it's in really good shape. There's no mildew or mold in there, and the tape's not scratched up or pinched or anything like that. I was so happy. I haven't even told my sister yet. I'm like, ah, yes, I got that. So that was the last thing in my big ol' haul. The whole time going home, I'm like, I want to go through those magazines. I want to go through those magazines. I want to go through those magazines. But I was like, I don't want to because I want to do it on camera so you guys can see the real reaction of me seeing them. But that is going to be part 2. We are going to go through every one of these. And like I said, I'm not going to like go through everything inside of here. Look at that. We'll do that on the vintage magazine flip through. Look at these shoes. I don't know, maybe we will. Those are cute. Anywho, so yes, that is going to be part 2. So definitely check that out. I'll have a link, not right away because it won't be ready yet, but I'll have a link in the description box for part 2, okay? And also, I want to tell you guys about something that I think I'm going to do. So after all of these, my eye is watering from being excited. My one eye, this one's fine, this one's watery. Okay, so with all of these magazines and patterns that I've got, I need to go back through all of my magazines that I have for my crochet, vintage magazine flip through. I need to go through them all again and organize them. So I thought about, hold on a minute, Fuzzy Butt. I thought about pushing the camera back and maybe having like a table set up in front of me, and then you guys can see the enormous stacks of magazines I have for the crocheting with Alana, or God, why do I keep saying that? Magazine flip throughs that I wanted to show you guys. Anywho, and then what I'll do is every duplicate I'm gonna set it to the side and then have a giveaway, if you guys would be interested in that. It probably wouldn't be this week that I would film that. It would probably be next week, or well, I could film it this week, but you won't see it till next week, because Friday, well, Wednesday is the tutorial, Friday will be part 2 of this. So let me know what you guys think about that. I'm gonna get out of here. Fuzzy Butt wants out. I hope you guys enjoyed my little haul here, and definitely be here for part 2, because we have got a lot to go through. It'll probably be just as long as this one. So yeah, that is it. Hit that thumbs up if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't, so you don't miss what's next. You don't want to miss this face, right? Check out the description box. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you guys think. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.